I used to apologize for my floors. Every single time someone came to my house, I would tell them, sorry about the carpet. I'm sorry about the cat hair. I am so sorry about all the stains. Then one day, I asked myself something. Why was I apologizing for the very place that had carried me through the hardest years of my life? Our home, it's never been large. In fact, it's one of the smallest homes I have ever lived in. And living in a small home, it taught me something I never expected. I wasn't really apologizing for the floors at all. I was apologizing for taking up space, for not having it all together, for not having the brand new house with the brand new carpet, the brand new life that I thought I was supposed to have by now. And I think we do that, don't we? We walk around saying sorry for things that are not even our fault. Sorry for the clutter. Sorry for the dust. Sorry for the laundry pile that seems to reproduce overnight. So sorry for existing in a space that doesn't look like a magazine. You know, we've been conditioned to believe that our homes are a performance. That when someone walks in, they're judging us. And that we need to preemptively apologize for the mess before they can form their own opinion about us. But let me ask you something. When you walk into your friend's house, do you notice the floors? I mean, do you really notice them? Or do you notice the way she smiles when she hugs you? The way the coffee smells brewing in the kitchen? Or the way her kids are laughing in the other room? Or just the way you feel safe and welcome and completely free to kick your shoes off without worrying about whether you'll leave a mark? Because I'll tell you what I've noticed. In 30 years of starting over, 30 years of packing up and leaving and rebuilding from nothing more than a suitcase and a prayer, I have never, not one time, looked back and remembered the floors. What I remember are the people and the warmth and the feeling of finally being safe after years of not knowing what safety even felt like. And you know what else I remember? I remember the first place I had that was truly mine. It was so tiny, barely big enough to turn around in. The carpet was all stained. Walls were peeling. The kitchen counter was maybe, 2 feet of cracked laminate. But I loved it. Not because it was perfect, because it wasn't. And definitely not because it was big. It was the exact opposite. And not because anyone else would have looked at it and thought, now that's a home. Because I loved it because it was mine. Because I had survived long enough to get there. Because after everything I'd been through, I finally had a door I could close, a roof over my head, and a floor that I could stand on without fear. And standing on that floor, stained, worn, far from perfect, I realized something that changed everything. The floor was not the problem. The shame was. The shame I was carrying about not having more, not being more, and not doing more. And I decided right then, standing in that tiny apartment with the ugly green carpet and the peeling walls, that I was done apologizing. So I stopped. I stopped apologizing for my floors and for the clutter and for my life that didn't look like the ones I saw on screens. And I want to tell you something. something that shifted. Not the house and not the floors, and not the stained carpet or the kitchen cupboards that still don't close properly. Me. Something shifted in me. Because here's what I finally understood. When I apologized for my home, I was really apologizing for myself, for not being enough, for not having enough, for doing enough. And I got so tired of it. I got tired of shrinking myself to make other people comfortable. I got tired of acting like my home was something to be ashamed of, when it was the very place that had saved me. And here's what I started to see instead. Homes are not museums, and they're not showrooms. They're not places to be admired from a distance. They're where people recover after difficult days, where birthdays happen, the ones of frosting on the walls and, well, laughter that echoes. It's where tears happen, the quiet ones in the kitchen when nobody's watching. And it's where an ordinary day, nights, they just become memories. I can still picture it. Muddy boots by the back door after a rainy afternoon. The smell of wet earth and the sound of the door creaking open. My kids laughing around the kitchen table while dinner cooked. The steam rising from the pot. The way the light hit the counter just so. Those are the things I remember. Not the floors, not the stains. The life that happened on them. The spaghetti that boiled over. That movie that made everybody cry. And the conversation that lasted way into the night. That's what happens on these floors. Not perfection. Life. Real, messy, beautiful life. And I think we forget that sometimes. We look at our floors and we see stains. But those stains, they're proof that life happened here. Let me tell you something about shame and floors. Shame wants you to hide. It wants you to keep the curtains closed. It wants you to wait until everything is perfect before you let anybody in. But here's the thing about perfect. Perfect isn't real. And waiting for perfect, it means you miss the life that's happening right now. Right here, on these messy floors. In this messy kitchen. And in this small home that, well, it doesn't look like a magazine. I've spent years waiting until I had more space. Waiting until I could afford better furniture, or until the stains were gone and the carpets were either steam cleaned or just replaced. I'm waiting for the day when the deck wasn't falling apart. And do you know what I missed? I missed everything. The evenings, the laughter, the quiet moments where nothing special happened, but somehow everything felt right. The people I loved, sitting right there on that couch, not caring one little bit about the mess. So here's what I want you to hear. Your floors don't determine your worth. And your clutter and all that mess, it doesn't determine your worth. All your unfinished projects, your stained carpets, your outdated kitchen counters, none of that determines your worth either. You know what does? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing determines your worth, because your worth was never up for debate. It was never conditional on your home or your income or your ability to keep a spotless house. You are worthy because you exist. That's it. And I know that sounds so simple, maybe too simple, but after 30 years of starting over, of losing everything and rebuilding again and again and again, I've learned that the simplest truths are usually the truest ones. Now, let me get practical for a minute, because I know some of you are thinking, that's beautiful, but my house really is a disaster and I can't breathe. I get it, I really do. So here's what I started doing. Not big changes, not whole house overhauls, just small, gentle shifts. First, I stopped using the word should. I should have cleaner floors. I should have more storage. I should have better furniture. I banished that word from my vocabulary. You know why? Because should, it's just shame dressed up in fancy language. It's a way of telling yourself you're not enough right now, in this moment, as you are. And that's a lie. Second, I started speaking to my home like I would speak to a friend. I don't mean out loud. Well, sometimes out loud. But more than that, I mean with kindness. Instead of looking at my stained carpet and feeling frustrated, I started saying, thank you for being soft. Thank you for catching all those crumbs. Thank you for being the place where my cats curl up and I sit and cry when I need to. Instead of looking at my cluttered counters and feeling overwhelmed, I started saying, thank you for holding our life. And thank you for being the place where we prepare meals and, well, we pay bills and stack mail and leave notes for each other. I know it sounds silly. I know it does. But something happens when you speak kindly to your home. Something happens when you stop treating it like an enemy and start treating it like a sanctuary. And third, and this one was hard for me, very hard, I stopped comparing. I stopped scrolling through pictures of perfect homes and telling myself I needed to catch up. And let me be real, comparison is a thief. Not just of joy, of everything, of peace, of contentment, of the ability to see what's right in front of you. Because when you're constantly looking at what other people have, you can't see what you have, and what you have is enough. I'm going to say that again because I need you to hear it. What you have is enough. Your home is enough. Your space is enough, and your effort is enough. Right now, in this moment, and in all the mess. And I wonder what would happen if we stopped seeing our homes as projects to be fixed and started seeing them as stories being written. Think about it. Every scuff on the floor, every stain on the carpet, every missing doorknob. It's a story. Not a story of failure, it's a story of living. One day, these floors will be someone else's memory. Your grandchildren won't remember where the carpet was stained. They're going to remember the smell of cookies cooling on the counter. They're going to remember the way the lamp glowed in the evening. And they're going to remember how it felt to be safe here. That's what homes are for. Not impressing people, holding people. So here's where I've landed. after 30 years of starting over, after losing everything more times than I can even count, and after rebuilding from nothing over and over again, I've landed here, on these imperfect floors, and in this small home, with the stained carpets and the cats that shed more than any animal should be legally allowed to. And you know what? I'm at peace. Not because my home is perfect, because it's not. And not because I finally have the big house I used to dream about. I don't. And definitely not because I figured out how to keep everything clean and organized and beautiful all the time, because I haven't. I'm at peace because I stopped fighting. I stopped fighting my home, the circumstances, and the reality of where I am right now. And I started accepting. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. Let me be really clear about that. Acceptance doesn't mean you stop trying, or stop caring, or stop wanting things to be better. It means you stop making your happiness conditional on things changing. It means you find peace in the middle of the mess and not on the other side of it. Because here's the thing, the other side of the mess, it doesn't exist. You clean one thing and something else gets dirty. You organize one closet and then there's another one that needs the same thing done. Fix one doorknob, the other one falls off. That's life. And that's real life. And if you wait until everything is perfect to feel peaceful, you're going to be waiting a very long time. I think about all those years I spent wishing for a bigger house, for more space, for nicer things, for a home that looked like the ones I saw online. And I think about all the peace I missed. The moments I rushed past because I was just too busy focusing on what wasn't there. All the evenings I spent stressed instead of present. And the times I looked at my home and saw only its flaws instead of the blessings and the gifts. And I don't want that for you. I really don't. I don't want you to look back in 10 years. And I don't want you to realize that you missed the beauty of right now because you were too busy waiting for something better. So, let me ask you something. What if this is it? What if this home, right here, with all its flaws and imperfections, is exactly where you're supposed to be? What if this is enough? What if peace isn't something you have to earn or achieve or buy with more square footage? What if peace is something you can choose right now, in this moment? Because I believe it is. I totally believe that peace is available to you right now, in this home, and in the size that it is. All you gotta do is choose it. So I want to leave you with something. Not a long list of things to do, and not a challenge that will make you feel like you failed if you don't complete it. Just one small thing. Wherever you are in your home right now, stop for a second. Look at the space around you, not with a critical eye, and not looking for what needs to be fixed or cleaned or organized. Just look. Look at the way the light falls on the floor, the way the blanket drapes over the chair. Look at all the stacks of books on the nightstand, or the mug that's been sitting there since this morning. Those things, they're not clutter, and they're not mess. They're evidence. Evidence that someone lives here, someone who reads, someone who drinks coffee every morning, who gets cozy and who takes the time to rest. And that someone is you. I think we spend so much time looking at our homes and seeing what's wrong that we forget to see what's right, what's already working, and what's already home. I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty. I'm saying it because I've been there. I've looked at my own stained carpet and I felt nothing but just frustration. I've looked at my cluttered counters and I feel nothing but overwhelm. Looked at my home and I've seen a project instead of a place. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. And I started noticing the small things. The way the cats curl up in the same spot every single day. The way the house smells when I'm baking bread. The way the lamp on the end table makes everything feel softer at night. Those things were always there. I just wasn't seeing them because I was too busy looking for what was missing. And I wonder, what if we stop doing that? What if we stop looking for what's missing and start seeing what's already here? Because here's what I've learned. Small homes teach you something that big homes never could. They teach you to notice and to appreciate. They teach you that enough is actually enough. Not because you're settled. And not because you've given up on having nice things. But because you've realized that more doesn't always mean better. Sometimes smaller is warmer. And sometimes the home you have is exactly the home you need. I think we've been told a lie, a big one. We've been told that our homes need to look a certain way to be valuable, that we need more space, more storage, more furniture, more decor, and that if we just had a little bit more, we'd finally feel at peace. But I've had more, and I've had less, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, peace has nothing to do with how much you have. Peace is something else entirely. It's a choice. It's a decision you make over and over again to stop fighting where you are and start living where you are. I've been on my own since I was 16 years old, and I've lost everything more times than I can count. I've started over from nothing and rebuilt from scratch and learned to find beauty in the smallest things because sometimes that's all I had. And you know what I've learned? The things that matter most can't be bought. They can't be organized, can't be cleaned, and they can't be upgraded. Love, laughter, safety, warmth, belonging. Those are the things that make a home. Not the floors or the furniture or the square footage. The people, the memories, the feeling. One day, someone else will live in this house. Someone else is going to cook in this kitchen. And somebody else will sleep in this room. And I hope, I really hope, that they can feel it. The love that was here, the laughter, the warmth, the peace. Because that's what lasts. Not the color of paint on the walls, or the flooring, or the organized pantry, the feeling. The feeling of being welcomed, and the feeling of being safe. And most of all, the feeling of being home. And here's the thing I've come to believe. The homes people remember most aren't the ones with the perfect decor. They're the ones where you felt seen, where maybe someone made a cup of tea without being asked, where they could kick their shoes off and stay a while, and they didn't have to pretend, where they could just be. That's what people carry with them. Not the memory of clean floors, the memory of feeling wanted. And that kind of beauty, it can't be bought. It has to be lived. It has to be chosen every single day. And you are choosing it, even on the hard days, when there's so much laundry that you just feel so overwhelmed, and the dishes are stacked so high in the sink. You are building something beautiful. You're building a home. That's what matters. Maybe home was never about the house. Maybe it was about the people inside it. Years from now, no one's going to remember your floors, but they'll remember how you made them feel. That's the kind of home worth building. Looking back now, I really smile because I finally understand it was never the floors. It never was. So here's to you. Here's to your messy, beautiful, imperfect home. Here's to the floors that show you've walked a long road. Here's to the stains that tell stories, to the doors that don't quite close, and to the handles that fell off years ago. They remind us that function matters more than perfection. Here's to you for still believing in the beauty of home. If you're still trying, and if you're still making meals, and if you're still opening your front door to people you love, you're building something beautiful. Keep going. Keep loving. Keep making peace with the home you have. You're enough. And I'll see you next time.